Hey guys, we're going to be going to the Scorn of the Erinyes hard mode version so we can get the Ghost Eater sense to help people beat the Arbiters of Fate EX level using like their new free Aerith with the reflection strategy. This is a 75% magical undead killer, so it really helps killing that EX stage which you can't bring a friend to. So we're going to kill Scorn of the Erinyes advanced version with a really cheap team and easy way to do it. Now we're not focusing on the rest of the missions. We may just do them, incidentally. We're not taking a 5-man team because this is like going super budget mode. But, you can drop a unit and do a 5-man team instead if you want to. So we're going to use a Sephiroth friend. So what you want to look for is an EX2 or better Sephiroth. That's all that really matters. As long as they're EX2 or better and, at least geared okay-ish, they're going to be good enough. You really want one that is built for Demon Killer and status immunity. Most Sephiroths are not going to be built for Demon Killer, and basically none of them are going to be status immune because everyone builds their Sephiroth for EPing. Let's be honest here. So I'm going to build mine and intentionally the way most Sephiroths are going to be built. So we're going to take mine, who is EX2. He's not even best in slot. And this is going to be like a sort of janky Sephiroth. Most Sephiroths are going to be on Odin, not Odin, are going to be on Bahamut for the Epine. This is how like a generic Sephiroth will be built. So base form, I'm using Auto Amplify Darkness, and I'm using Bravery. That's not all Sephiroths will have that. In fact, a lot won't. But that's just going to be a little bit of a help to speed up the video. Shift form, we're using his Event Katana. Some free gear, his own STMR. We're using just an attack power card. His own card would be way better if you had it. And again, just generic non-killer build. So double hand, chain cap boost, some LB damage. So we've got maxed LB damage and only 100 demon killer. That's 50 from Bahamut and 50 from Ashura. And no status immunity as well. So, like I said, I'm building Sephiroth like most will be built. If you can find one that is status immune and built for 300 Demon Killer, and preferably EX3, this is going to be an absolute cakewalk. I showed a EX3 Sephiroth clearing this trial in like 3 turns from the JP server. You can look that up. But we're going for a much slower budget clear with this run. So our team is going to be this. We're going to be using a magical cover tank. We're using Beatrix because she was free, and she's also really good. She is going to be, the whole team needs status immunity, by the way. So we're using status immunity on our own team. Your magical cover tank needs 100 dark resist and a combined 200% water and light resist. So we've got 125 water, 85 light. Together, they're 200 or better, so we're immune to the elemental damage. She's got her TMR. The Malboro Shield is water resist and status immunity. It's great for this. It's totally free. Demon Mail, free. It's 50 dark resist. Cat Ear Hood, free. It's 20 light resist. Elena Doll was just mailed to you for free. It is 25 to all resist. Lo-Fi headphones was just given for free. It's 20 dark, 20 water, and it gives auto shell. We're using a free card just because it gives a little bit of defense. You want some defense as well. And then her materias. Tonberry materia, free materia from a trial. It gives water resist. And we gave her a little bit of mana regen because she is a little bit thirsty on the mana. 2 empty slots. You can fill these in with whatever you want. Adventurers or whatever. You can. It doesn't even matter. We don't even need this because the boss deals so low damage. So there we go. Now this might be the trickiest thing to build. I went the most budget possible, but here we go. You want a Provoker with Evasion, Status Immunity, Stop Immunity, and Charm Immunity. So it sounds complicated to build, but this is pretty cheap. So Jessie's a great choice here. She's also going to be... Oh, let me mention real quick. Another thing Beatrix is going to be doing is Isuna. Because the Sephiroth is not status immune, we're going to use Beatrix to cure the statuses pretty much every turn. So there we go. And then Avalanche Jessie is going to be our Provoker. She has 100% Provoke naturally. She gears for Evasion extremely easily. Just her TMR is 70% Evasion total. So Runaway is the Cactuar materia, and then Assassin's Vest is the free from a trial. That is 10 Cactuar is 20, and then 70 from her own plus her Teamar. She is at 100% evasion and 100% provoke. So there we go. So status immunity is from a ribbon. She is getting charm immunity from Locke's TMR. If you don't, this is a TMR, so it's pretty affordable. If you don't have this, you can get it from like Tifa's STMR, the new Avalanche Tifa. Or you could use like Super Ribbon, an old event item. You could also use Witch's Lipstick and Winged Heart. Combined gives 100 charm resist. Or you can make someone else the Provoker. That is naturally charm immune. That works too. For stop resist, we've got 50% from Garland's TMR, and the other 50% is from Shiva. So Shiva, if you look here on the Shiva build, we have, well, there it is. But Shiva, right up here, stop through, is a 50% passive stop resistance. It's really good to get because Shiva is not really an Esper you have much to learn on, so that's you may as well get it from there. So that's 50% from Shiva, and the other 50% is from Garland's TMR. So that's a super budget way to make a full evasion, full passive provoke, status immune, stop immune, charm immune unit. And now the other thing Jessie's doing is her LB. Her LB is a 120 all in peril and an 87% defense and spirit break. So she's playing double duty as provoker and breaker for the party. Descendant Cetra Aerith is going to be our source of LB damage and stat buffs with her LB. We're going to be doing that. She is using status immunity. A little bit of LB per turn, so her LB is refilled quicker. And we gave her Rage Beast Roar for single target dispel. That's going to be important as well. Also, she is on Lakshmi, so we can do confusion immunity from Lakshmi when the boss is going to do confusion, because we don't want Sephiroth being confused. All the rest of the statuses we can just cure. Confusion, a confused Sephiroth is going to be, he will definitely bring you despair. You don't want that. Yep, that's all she's doing. Shira is going to be our Entruster. A lot of people say they don't have Shira. If you don't have Shira, any low-level Entruster is fine to replace him with. So like Beach Time Fina, 3-star Larsa, 3-star Gloof, 3-star Bartz, 4-star Orin, 4-star Beach Time Fina. Or you could use high-end Entrusters like, Lotus Mage Fina or like Selfie or White Dragon Ling. Just someone to entrust pretty much every turn. So we gave Shira a 10 auto limit, so he can entrust per turn. Status immunity, and a little bit of mana regen because he is a 3-star. He runs out of mana pretty quick. Call of the Wild, so Pure White Blessing, Arden's Hat, Gleaming Armor, Hermes Sandals. And we stuck him on an Esper for more mana per turn. And we need a tag chainer. We're going to use Biggs and Wedge as a tag chainer. Any tag chainer you want is totally fine. Biggs and Wedge are just, I think, the only 5-star tag chainer, and they're currently on Banner. You need to tag chain with either Wind, Water, or Dark Element. So we gave him the free Magnum Gun from the Madam's Mansion. It's a permanent item. It's a dark weapon. He is dual wielding and is using Aurora Scar for multi-hit. This is going to make his tag chain a quad attack, and it's much easier to cap in that case. This is from the Lightning TMR, and she was given for free for the Newbie quest and the Panel quest, so you should have this. Status immunity, that's all that matters. Now keep in mind, Biggs and Wedge does preemptively auto-cast cover, which we do not want. So we're going to use Aerith to get rid of that with Rage Beast Roar. That's the reason for that. And then the Sephiroth friend. Okay, so I've talked for a really long time. Let's get in here and do the trial. So the trial is very easy as long as you have the proper team built set up. So, to recap, a magic cover tank, an evasion provoker with all immunities, and there we go. So the boss ambushed with single target stop, but we immuned it with Jessie. Okay, so turn 1, Jessie is just going to triple cast the Midgar special for LB Phil. Aerith is going to Rage Beast Roar on Biggs and Wedge, because notice they are preemptively covering, and we do not want that. They are not the tank here. Thankfully, they won't recast it ever. Beatrix is going to cover and mitigate. Make sure you mitigate, because the boss does do a single target non-elemental magic attack that Beatrix will covering, so with mitigation it can do a very low damage. We'll use Shira to entrust over to Jessie, so it's good to go later. Sephiroth will shift, and we're going to go ahead and... I guess we'll use his Magnus on turn 1, and we get his Guard view on turn 1. Okay, so we'll start dealing damage in a moment. So the boss does statuses every single turn. The boss does them poison, disease, sleep, blind, paralyze, silence, confuse. So when you see the boss use silence all, that means confuse is next. So make sure you're immune to confusion. Anyway, Beatrix will just go ahead and Isuna Sephiroth to get rid of the statuses. If your Sephiroth friend is status immune, you can skip that step. We're going to break the boss with Jesse's LB. We're going to buff the party with Aerith's LB. And we're going to start stacking Sephiroth's LB. Now, for the timing, send Biggs and Wedge like a split second before Sephiroth, and then you will perfectly cap that chain. There you go. So again, it's a stacking LB. He'll be doing more damage later. Let's go ahead and entrust to Sephiroth. We're going to just start spamming LBs for the rest of the fight. Alright, so Infect All. Let's see here. Real quick. Yeah, that was the disease. Okay, so Isuna won't get rid of disease. So we're going to use just a vaccine on Sephiroth to cure the disease. And again, if you're immune, that is not important. Let's go ahead and do some attacks. By the way, the tag chain on Biggs and Wedge is their normal attack. So we're just normal attacking, and it's quadding. We push the threshold, which is fine. Beatrix would just... Oh, and one more thing. Don't ever cast Shell or Protect, because the boss puts up single target reflection on your provoker. And if you use Shell or Protect, it'll bounce that onto the boss and buff the boss, and you do not want that. So never cast Shell and Protect in this fight. Anyway, let's go ahead and just cover and mitigate. We don't have any statuses to cure. Jesse can just triple cast the Midgar special. Shira can entrust to Sephiroth. And the Midgar special is filling our LB gauge as well. Okay, there's a threshold attack. Song of the Dead is an AoE dark damage, and it's also a break. So we're broken, but you know, whatever. Make sure you check the boss arena if the boss is buffed. The boss is not currently buffed, so we're good. The boss did blind, I think, or sleep. I don't know, one of them. Anyway, let's go ahead and... yeah, let's deal some damage. I was trying to think what we should do next. Okay, another threshold. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and entrust to Sephiroth. Let's just fill LB gauge with them. We're going to wait on Aerith, and then Beatrix can... there's no statuses to cure this turn, so we can just do this. Alright, Blind All. So Sephiroth is immune to Blind because of the Bahamut Esper, so that didn't happen, so we're good there. Because of the thresholds, the boss is just really not doing a whole lot, which is great. Let's go ahead and re-break the boss. Let's rebuff the party. And let's just keep dealing damage with our Sephiroth. Now keep in mind, again, my Sephiroth is not best in slot. I intentionally did not gear for very many killers. So we're taking a lot more turns than a proper Sephiroth would deal. You know, a Sephiroth that is built for the fight would have been over 2 turns ago. But, you know, like I said, most players don't have like a perfect EX3 Sephiroth friend to bat phone and get them to build for them. So I'm trying to use a Sephiroth that you can find just randomly on your friends list. Just, you know, randomly in the wild. Anyway, let's go ahead and just keep it going. Let's tag chain and do this. The boss didn't do any statuses, so we're fine there. Shira, keep entrusting our janky Sephiroth. And Beatrix, let's just keep mitigating cover up. Yeah, but because we're pushing so many thresholds, the boss is just not really doing anything, which is fine. That's actually good. So there's Paralyze. Paralyze means coming up soon is going to be the Confusion. So let's go ahead and use Confuse immunity so we don't get caught off guard by Confusion. Beatrix can Isuna the Paralyze away because our random Sephiroth friend was not status immune, you know, quote unquote. Let's go ahead and keep dealing some damage. At this point, Sephiroth's Magnus has worn off, so he's dealing less damage, but it's still a ton of damage. Let's go ahead and triple Midgar special for LB fill on Jesse. Your Entruster can pop over to Sephiroth, and we should win next turn. depending on what the boss does. Silence all evil spirits, fog of conviction. Alright, I think the boss buffed that turn just now. Yeah, the boss buffed. So we have an option here because... okay, we can go ahead and dispel the boss with a Holy Torch, with Aerith. And let's go ahead and trust over to Jesse so we can break again. And we can keep dealing damage. So the status this time was Silence. We don't care about curing Silence on Sephiroth, so we're just going to refresh this. Now, obviously, we're going to win right here. But in case you weren't going to win, you know, always plan for the fight going longer. Also, we didn't summon an Esper because I totally forgot. But you should summon an Esper at some point for that mission. But we're not really here for the all mission clear. We're here for the Ghost Eater Sense materia, which we just got. Okay, so 7 turns with a Sephiroth that was just janky geared, barely any killers, just had 50 from Bahamut and 50 from the Ashura helm that most Sephiroths are going to be wearing because it's the best free helm in the game. I guess not counting the Clash of Wills helm. But yeah, so hopefully you can find a Sephiroth to carry the fight, and if the Sephiroth is not perfect geared, it doesn't matter. The boss doesn't really do anything. Just keep if your Sephiroth friend is not status immune, keep that confusion buff active from Lakshmi or from someone else in the party. Keep cover and mitigation on your magical cover tank. A stop, charm, and status immune evasion provoker. And yeah, the boss is totally toothless. He can't even hurt you, basically. Dark resist, water resist, and light resist on your magical cover tank. And there's the Scorn of the Erinyes budget method. Okay, see you next time.